Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we currently have 29 live broadcasts each and every week on TV, radio, and as a podcast. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I am the founder, president, and chief listening officer here at our network. Our show today is The Wise Ones, and I cannot say this enough. We have another fantastic guest who is with us. I'm super excited to hear his story. But before we bring him out, I want to bring my co-host out. He is a dear friend. This is someone, when you think about wise, honorable, integrity, Red O'Loughlin's name pops up immediately. I was fortunate to be introduced to him, and we've worked together. He's been my book coach. He's always on time. He's always on point, and he's actually quite funny. Let's welcome him to the show. Red O'Loughlin, the wise one.
Thank you so very much for your kind words again. That's the first time you use the word quite funny. So, and I can't disagree. My sense of humor is a little dry, but sometimes people pick it up. Maybe. Anyway, thank you again. And today's a wonderful deal on the wise ones. Typically, I would give my little intro here, but we have such a dynamic guest today that I will reserve that for down the road. But real quickly, immediately after this program today, within about 10 minutes, I'll be on Talking Heads, and I'm introducing a brand new topic today, post-pandemic planning for health. And it's one of those things that it's going to happen. We're going to get out of this pandemic. And how are you actually going to improve whatever health you have? And we're going to go into a lot of details. But anyway, stay tuned for that one afterwards on Talking Heads, and I'll join you there. But today's guest is a friend of mine from at least 10 years ago. We met talking on the same stages together, motivation, self-improvement. I was just beginning. You can tell really instantly that Dr. Stan Harris, also known as Dr. Breakthrough, and that's why we will be referring to him today as Dr. Breakthrough. He has a way with words. He has a personality that is just unending. He has such an amazing background of experiences that he can just literally, I'm not going to say talk your ear off, but add value by the bucketful, minute after minute after minute. So, Dr. Breakthrough, please join us.
Well, hello.
Hello, Dr. Breakthrough.
Hey, welcome. I'm so glad. Thank you for having me. And thank you for what you two are doing to make a difference in people's lives. And I also have to give a disclaimer. Now, as Dr. Breakthrough, I can't provide the breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. However, when people follow my breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides it. And the breakthrough is exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable.
Woo!
I remember one breakthrough you did for me, because you do a lot of martial arts demos at your events. And I have never broken a board before in my life. And I think I actually wrote the word breakthrough on the board, and you supervised, provided guidance, and said, do it. And just like that, broke right through that board. Now, can I say that it worked the rest of the way? Well, incrementally, yes, I've been breaking through. It just doesn't happen overnight. And I'm sure that's probably a good way to have it, incrementally.
Yes. Well, one of the things I teach, Red, which, by the way, breakthroughs are both sudden and gradual. And, everybody loves the sudden breakthrough, kind of like that rocket ship picture behind me. The rocket ship, real quick, when it takes off, there's all kind of combustion, all kind of energy, but it's moving very slowly. And that's like a lot of times in life, it's like people are like, man, I'm trying, I'm doing all this and nothing seems to be happening. Well, you know what? That's kind of like the rocket ship. But what they tell me is the rocket ship, though, it just keeps gaining momentum. So it just keeps consistently. And that's what I love about you, Red, and Dr. KJ. Y'all just consistently doing this, making a difference in people's lives. And they say right before it breaks through the Earth's atmosphere, it begins to rotate wildly as like it's about to be shaken to pieces. And if the rocket ship were a human, it'd say something like this: man, I'm doing all this work and nothing happens. Nothing's going to happen for me. I just can't do this anymore. But the rocket ship, it's not human. So it doesn't go based off its emotions. It goes based off its programming. So it just does what it was designed to do. And they tell me the next instance, there's a big bam, and the rocket ship breaks through the Earth's atmosphere. Now it's traveling 25,000 miles per hour. It will virtually use no more fuel for the rest of the trip. So out of the 1 million pounds of fuel, 95% is from takeoff to escape velocity. But once it breaks through escape velocity, it will virtually use no more fuel. And that's what my life is all about, is empowering people. But again, there's a sudden breakthrough, there's a gradual breakthrough. The rocket ship would never have the sudden unless it first has the gradual. And so we have to do that daily grind, the daily work. So back to y'all.
Thank you, Dr. Breakthrough. I really appreciate what you said. And some word that just stood out to me, because I've said this, we've all said this: try. I'm trying. Are you doing it or you're not doing it? Right? Don't we need to face facts? Are we actually doing something? Are we thinking about doing it? Can you talk a little bit about the word try and how applicable it is to a breakthrough or not applicable?
Well, of course, and thank you very much. Well, in my book, Your Breakthrough is Guaranteed, I talk about the word try. Literally, when you say try, to try is to lie. See, when you use the word try, you give your mind an excuse for why I can just give up once it gets rough, because it's going to get rough. Yeah, like what Steve Jobs said, you got to love what you do so much, because if not, all the barriers and heartaches that you go through, you'll never make it. And so, yeah, so I tell people, instead of trying, matter of fact, hey, folks, nobody, please don't get offended, but I tell people, grow up from being a try baby to being a committed man or committed woman. So instead of the word try, use the word committed. And I like to put it this way: I will until. Ooh, let me hear myself say that again. I said, I will until that gets things done.
You talked a moment ago about the sudden breakthrough and then the escape velocity. And that's sort of what happens to some people and say, well, he or she is a, overnight sensation after 20 years of trying, because all of a sudden that overnight success really wasn't overnight. It appears overnight, but in reality, it took a long time to get to that last night of darkness before you became that success. I've heard you talk about that many times.
Well, yeah, exactly.
In the midst of just almost getting there.
Right. Yeah. They tell me that, and I'll talk about again in my book, one of my books, Your Breakthrough is Guaranteed, 7 Simple Steps to Your Success, with a foreword by Les Brown and Dr. Fran Harris. They tell me you can hit a rock. There's certain rocks you can hit 100 times, and there's not even, there's nothing, like it looks like it's unscathed, untouched. And then the next time you hit it, it cracks open. And so that's the way it is with life, my friend. That's why many people, sadly enough, never get their breakthrough, because it's like, I've been hitting this thing and doing this thing and nothing seems to be happening. But you can't go based off of seeing. You can't go based off emotions. No, listen, my friend, because sometimes my eyes and my senses tell me lies. So you just got to learn to go off principle. And the principle is, if I keep on, then something's going to happen, my friend. And let me just give you a poem that, if you don't mind, can I give a poem to your listeners to help encourage them?
Absolutely.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. If care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. Many a struggler turns about when they might have won had they stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the cloud of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. Victory may be near, though it seems afar. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worst that you just mustn't quit. And I can't tell you how many breakthroughs that I've received by going just a little bit beyond. You see, let's put it this way. Right before you get your undeniable breakthrough, you have an overwhelming breakdown.
You'd mentioned the word life in there a couple times, and it kind of hit me in a way that you had a post, I think, on Instagram today about a year ago You
Mm.
had, is that something you feel comfortable talking about today?
Oh, of course. Are you kidding me? By the way, I tell people it's Dr. Breakthrough. I had to have more breakthroughs than anybody I know. And my goal, my friend, is just to go from breakthrough, the bigger breakthrough, the bolder breakthrough, the bigger breakthrough. And by the way, one of the things I say to myself every day is I declare and decree that I will always break through and succeed. So a year ago, this time, I was actually in the hospital with COVID, well, just getting knocked out, I should say, with COVID-19. As a matter of fact, I tried to to deal with it naturally. And so my wife kept saying, "Baby, you got to go to the hospital." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna be okay." And then pneumonia set in. I could barely breathe. And so finally, I mean, when literally I had to be rushed to the hospital. And I was so weak I couldn't even get up out of the bed because they brought a stretcher in the house. And so I'm thinking, no, hey, I'm a strong man. I'm a martial artist. I can do this. Let me get up. I couldn't even. I mean, and so it rushed me to the emergency room. And so I was in there for 5 days, had a coma in the hospital, a total of 11 days, literally almost died. But thank God for a praying wife. I call my wife, by the way, my ABCD. That stands for Adorable Brown Caramel Delight. And so anyway, and I started praying, by the way, for what I call an ABC, is Anointed Breakthrough Comeback. And so here it is now, a year later. And back then, when I got to hospital and I'm on the oxygen and all that, I would go 10 steps and literally have to sit down for 10 to 15 minutes just to regain my breath and regain my energy. And so today, this morning already, I've been over 17,000 steps this morning. In the last 2 days, I posted on Facebook, I've been 73,000 steps that's 42 miles. That's more than I was doing before. So I teach people, listen, a setback. Now, my good friend Willie Jolly says, and he's the one that named me Dr. Breakthrough. We'll talk about that later. But he says a setback is a setup for a comeback. I say a setback is a setup for God to show up. And when God shows up, we can grow up. When God shows up, we can go up. When God shows up, so it's going to be an incredible thing. And so I'm just so delighted. As a matter of fact, I started counting my days since then. And if you can't figure it out, it looks like I'm moving a little bit. I am on my exercise bicycle right now while I'm doing this interview. When I was younger, they said, I mean, literally, I'm like ADD, ADHD, TDD, and everything else they could think of. And so I just learned to multitask. I got one of those brains that moves. So while I'm doing this interview, I'm on my bicycle exercising. I got the thing in my hand. I'm squeezing. So I do several things at the same time, and that way I don't have to block out times to exercise. Now, every time I'm doing on the Zoom, if I'm not speaking, I'm definitely here exercising. Early in the morning, I do a prayer walk, and then I just do what I call a breakthrough walk. Let's walk and go through my declarations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so a year ago, it was very bleak. As a matter of fact, Red, I called my wife. I said, "Baby, call the children." We have 8 children altogether. I had 4, she had 4, so we came together. And now we got 8. And I said, I don't think I'm gonna make it. My brain wasn't working right. I couldn't hardly function. And so I said, I want to, but I can't see my way out of this. And I'm so grateful that now I'm still here. And I did a television show the other day. They said, "What's the first thing you do in the morning?" And so I just had to tell people straight out. You ask, I'm going to tell you. The Bible says this is the day that the Lord hath made. And I started counting my days. So as of today, it's my 22,493rd day on this earth. And so also I started counting my breaths. The average person takes 20,000 breaths per day. And so as of today, I'm at approximately 453,080,000 free breaths. Didn't have to pay tax on one single one. So I'm excited.
I love the fact that you're riding your bike while you're doing this. That is my dream. I'm going to bring my spinning bike over where it is. It's excellent. So we're so glad that you recovered. When you were going through this, one of the topics for today is faith. So I'm a religious person. I believe you're a religious person. Where is
No,
it when?
No. I'm not a religious person, but I got a relationship with a living God.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But
Yes.
yeah, I'm not a religious person.
Okay, sorry to misspeak. So
That's okay.
when you were going through that and you were saying to your wife, get the family together, how did you take those moments of uncertainty, of possibly I don't want to speak for you, but possibly fear, thinking this is the end, or maybe welcoming it, I'm not sure, and then channel that into where you are today, because some people will just give up. There are plenty of people who had COVID, and I don't know, maybe could have had an attitude thinking that, okay, I'm just going to let this go. Where were you when it
Wow.
came to your attitude and your faith?
Well, again, so one of the things I started praying for daily was what I call an ABC, anointed breakthrough comeback. Now, like I said, every person, by the way, so I'll come back another day and talk about my main message in life is every master was once a mess. And therefore, every mess can one day be a master. By the way, whenever a mess becomes a master, and sometimes I like to say, instead, because some people are like, they don't like the word mess. So it's like, okay, mediocre. So every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master, because every master was once a mess or mediocre. Whenever a mess or mediocre person becomes a master, you now have a message that if you market to the masses, you can make millions. And that's my story. So, but here's the thing: we're all human. So sometimes your faith can be high, and other times it's like our faith is low, and that's when we got to be surrounded by other people that believe in us. And then I like to say, like, we can borrow their faith to help our faith. So I kept just saying every day, I believe I'm getting stronger every day. And back when I was talking like this, I mean, it was terrible. I just heard a recording of me, back a year ago when I was like, man, I can't, because Les Brown called me and I was in the hospital. And so later we talked and he said, man, I don't want to tell you, but you sounded like a walking dead man. He said, he kept trying to encourage me though. And so again, you have to have faith. So again, fear takes over. Fear, F-E-A-R, my acronym for fear, is forgetting everything's all right. Okay, that's one of my acronyms for fear. And then also former experiences affecting reality. But instead of fear, we can have faith. And faith is fully anticipating it to happen. So fully anticipating it to happen. And so I wrote many years ago what's called a daily attitude adjuster. And so I play that. I have the MP3 format. I would say it every day to myself. And again, but on a low day when I just no energy, my brain wasn't working. I couldn't think. I mean, those who have COVID, especially severely, they know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's like an out of body experience. And, but I had to keep on listening to those who believed, and so grateful for those who prayed for me. So I have this daily attitude adjuster, and every day I played it. Now, and when I was able to talk a little better, I started saying it. So if that's something you'd like for me to give, I'd be glad to. What do you think?
Go for it.
Sure.
All right. Wow. What a great, well, wait, let me first say, y'all better hold on. If y'all don't have seatbelts, y'all might better put your seatbelt on. I'm a little over the top. So for some of y'all, don't, that's okay. I'm married to a woman that's just the opposite. So we're like I'm like the kite, she's a string. She's like, baby, just breathe, just relax. And I'm all over the place. So my energy level might be a little super high for you, but listen, when you, like I was a year ago, you couldn't hardly do anything. Look, I'm loving my energy. So here it goes. Here it goes. And this is what fired me up. This is what keeps me going. I did this early this morning. I do this every day. And it goes like this. Wow, what a great day to be alive. I feel dynamite. I like me. I accept me. I love me. I'm going to have a super fantastic day today because I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too glad to be sad, too anointed to be disappointed, and I'm too elated to be agitated. Circumstances are aligning themselves in my favor. I am healthy, physically fit, and intellectually equipped. I have wisdom far beyond my years. I'm an extraordinary person with incredible abilities that I will use to add value to people's lives. Knowing that as I help others reach their dreams, I will automatically reach my own. I anticipate meeting the person or a group of people today who are willing to use their power, their wealth, and influence to help me achieve my dreams. All day long, people will go out of their way to bless me. Today, I will add great value to someone's life. That's why I'm on the show, by the way. I will show compassion to those in need. I will give strength to the weak and inspiration to the weary. Someone needs what I have to offer, and I gladly make myself available. I embrace abundance, and it embraces me. I'm abundant in every good way. I am an abundance magnet. I like money and what it allows me to do. and it likes me, and it's attracted to me from many areas because I use my money wisely to be a blessing to those in need. I may have experienced setbacks, but setbacks are only setups for comebacks, and setbacks pave the way for comebacks. I make lemonade out of life's lemons, and if life knocks me down, I'll fall on my back, realizing that as long as I can look up, I can get up. I commit to paying for my dreams with perspiration, so that I won't have to live with my nightmares of regret. I do not procrastinate because procrastination leads to devastation. It is the assassination of my destination. Thus, I will act now. I'm a doer. I get results that last. I now release the champion that is inside of me. I am the leader that multitudes of people are looking for. So I choose to succeed today and every day hereafter. Watch out, world. Here I come.
Well done. I'm ready to start jogging through the streets. Yeah.
Before you start jogging,
change your name. He said, I got to change your name from Dr. Breakthrough to Dr. Feel Good. He said, man, I just feel good when I hear you talk.
Well, we're right here at a perfect place for not timeout, commercial break. So why don't we go ahead and schedule that one in, and then we'll get right back to Dr. Breakthrough and figure out what else is left that needs to be
All right.
fixed.
Stay tuned here with Red, who, by the way, special announcement, it's his birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Red.
Hey, happy birthday. Yay.
All right. Happy birthday tomorrow. And we're going to take a quick break and hear from Diane Floyd Bame, and we'll be right back.
Kapayapaan, kapayapaan, kapayapaan.
Diane Floyd Bame's A Song of Peace tells the story of a young lad named Tommy whose fervent wish for peace on earth touches the hearts of his friends and family, spreads to his community, and eventually unites the whole world around making his dream of peace a reality for everyone. Sit down with the children in your life and share Tommy's amazing story of love and hope. Sing your own song of peace and invite the children to join you. Tommy's tale is more than just a story. It's a movement, and everyone's warmly welcome to take part.
Kapayapaan, 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 kapayapaan.
You'll find A Song of Peace, along with many other wonderful learning and enriching opportunities for children of all ages, at DianeFloydBame.com.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
I noticed it was sitting on the thing. I was like, oh, it's not counting steps over there. So I put it back in my pocket real quick. But can I tell you how I got the name Dr. Breakthrough? I think that might interest some of your listeners.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so there's a guy, Dr. Willie Jolly. We were speaking together at Howard University 22 years ago. And he said to me, he said, Dr. Stanley said, I know you got a PhD in martial arts, Doctor of Divinity, and a few credits away from Doctor of Naturopath. He said, but branding is everything. He said, man, when you speak to people, he said, you explain breakthrough better than anybody I know. He said, you seem to have more breakthroughs than anybody I know. Every time we talk, you're talking about another one you had. He said, and then when you write things on boards like excuses and fear and procrastination and doubt, you break through those things, then you teach your audience to do the same thing. He said, so you're like a person that has a problem. They go to the doctor and the doctor writes out a prescription. So he said, you're the person that when they need a breakthrough, you have the prescription. So you should be called Dr. Breakthrough. And I said to him, I said, wow. I said, well, I'm not sure that's true, but I promise you one thing, I'll live the rest of my life to make sure it is. And it just stuck, right? And so again, my friend, I just love talking to people about breakthroughs and helping them and assisting and empowering them. Matter of fact, I don't even help people anymore. That's one of my breakthroughs. It's like somebody drowning. If it's a child, it's different, but like somebody drowning, you jump in, try to save them. Well, most of the time they're splatting around, knocking around, they'll knock you. You end up both going down. So what I do now is I throw a life preserver in and say, grab it, I'll pour you in. And if not, I'm going to preach the best eulogy they ever heard. So it's not helping anymore. It's actually empowering. And I help people to find the power that they have that they're not even aware of. And that's one of the things about the heartaches and trials and barriers is that they help us to discover strength that we have we weren't even aware of. And so anyway, but that's how the name Dr. Breakthrough came. And again, I'm glad I didn't, like so many people, they try to play humble. Oh, no. And that would have cost me dearly. And I was honest. I said, well, I'm not sure that that's true, but I promise you one thing. I'll live the rest of my life to make sure it is. And now a lot of people in my life, whenever they think about a breakthrough, like a guy called me the other day, he said, man, this company, they talk about this breakthrough product and they got all these breakthroughs. He said, man, I told him, how are they doing this without having Dr. Breakthrough as a coach? He said, so I'm connecting you with the owner. They need to talk to you. And so my desire is that I could help people. And so I have a breakthrough formula that I help people with that actually gives them step-by-step, information.
Dr. Breakthrough, you and I share a very common experience because a year ago on my birthday, I was just coming out of COVID. Delta variant got my attention. I didn't end up in the hospital. I didn't have that severe a case, but my wife came down with it a couple of days later and we got monoclonal antibodies and things, appeared. But how long did it take you to get back to what you consider normal life again after being in the hospital?
It took me 11 and a half months. So just about a half a month ago, I told my wife, I'm back to normal. I finally got my full, complete comeback. So it's just been a slow process. Matter of fact, I was having now, Red, you see me in front of audiences and the energy level and so forth. Man, my energy wasn't the same. And my brain, I've memorized a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I couldn't remember stuff. I was having brain fog like twice a week at least. I mean, it was like, but I just kept saying, I'm getting stronger and better every day. And I just learned to keep saying that and believing that. As a matter of fact, I think every time I speak, I mention Muhammad Ali's quote that sadly enough, most people heard the first part, Dr. J, but they never heard the second part. And the second part is the most powerful. By the way, you don't mind if I call you Dr. J, because they think Dr. J the basketball player, but I'm like, this sister, she powerful. You Dr. J.
No, I love it. Thank you.
Okay. So here's what Muhammad Ali said. Most people know this part. He said, I said I was the greatest. Well, that's okay. That's not the good part. Here it is. He said, I said I was the greatest. By the way, note takers are money makers. So somebody, you might want to write this down. And Dr. Breakthrough says, and action takers are bigger money makers. Ooh. So anyway, he said, I said I was the greatest. And here it is, a long time a long time before I believed it. Let me say again. He said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I believed it. In other words, he figured out what he wanted to believe. He wasn't there yet, but he said, if I say it long enough and loud enough, maybe I'll hear myself and start believing it and start acting on it. And that's what he did. And so I'm big on declarations and speaking things. And even earlier this morning when I was out, I do a prayer walk first, and then I do a breakthrough prayer walk, and then a breakthrough, just a regular breakthrough walk where I go through all these declarations and things. And of course, when I'm doing my daily attitude adjuster, I'm at the top of my voice. I'm sure people can hear me in some of their houses, right? And but I make these declarations of things. And like I say, like everything good, by the way, every day I say this out loud, everything good that can happen will happen. And it will happen at the best possible time. Because see, I got tired of living by Murphy's Law. And I said, I'm going to write my own law, Dr. Breakthrough's Law. And by the way, I like Dr. Breakthrough's Law better. Everything good that can happen will happen. And it will happen at the best possible time. And so does that mean everything by itself is good? No. But the greatest book ever written says all things work together for good. And so when I have that attitude, I start seeing how things can fit in. And like I said, even with COVID, it helped me to have a great appreciation for my health. And like I said, started counting my breaths daily, started counting my days, and living life more to its fullest. And so I want to encourage somebody out there. I'm telling you, my friend, you could have a breakthrough. I'm now doing things I wasn't able to do before COVID. So that's what I'm telling you, my friend. That's the breakthrough philosophy.
That brain fog that you talked about, I think is very common even when you don't have COVID. I know when I was recovering, a couple of weeks after, I said, "Yeah, I'm back to normal." The next day, I said, "Whoa! Yesterday I wasn't, but I thought I was." And each day for about 7 or 8 days, I thought I was there, and I wasn't, because the next day I was actually better. But I kept fooling myself that I was actually where I needed to be. And then the next day I'd get up and start doing it, and I'm more productive today. I'm getting more, and it was very insidious because you thought you were at the level you wanted to be or should be, but everyday life is like that. We have an expectation to do things, or things are going to happen, and all of a sudden, I'm going to call it brain fog because I think people understand that term. Our brains just do not function well enough to get us beyond that foggy state that we're in, our comfort zone.
Right.
And I know that your breakthrough techniques, the ones you do in person, your books, everything out there, your everything, you have some that are just, we think we know what we need to do, but sometimes we need somebody to tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, if you do it this way, it might work a little bit better, a little bit faster. You might see results sooner.
Oh, yes. So I call that, I call that, I help people to get off the bicycle to their success and to get on the jet to their success. And you do that by having mentors. And so I say to people, mentors are the easiest, fastest, and most reliable way to master any skill. So when you think about it in history, Socrates mentored Plato, and then Plato mentored Aristotle. It was Aristotle that mentored Alexander the Great. It was Andrew Carnegie that mentored Napoleon Hill, and then Napoleon Hill mentored somebody called W. Clement Stone. It was W. Clement Stone that mentored Jack Canfield, who became the co-author of the billion with a B, billion-dollar book series, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Then Benjamin Graham mentored Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett, of course, has mentored millions. It was Dr. Benjamin Mays who mentored a young guy who became known as Dr. Martin Luther King, and of course, Dr. Martin Luther King has mentored millions. Bill Bailey, who was one of my main mentors, mentored in early days, Les Brown, and then, of course, Les Brown has mentored millions. There was also Bill Bailey who mentored Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn, of course, mentored millions, and he mentored a young guy named Tony Robbins, who has now mentored tens of millions. Even in the Bible, Moses mentored Joshua. Joshua mentored the 3 million Israelites. It was Elijah that mentored Elisha, and Elisha mentored a widow woman who lost her husband, was about to lose her children to the debtors, and he helped her to start a home-based business, and her children, they were able to pay off their debt for the rest of their lives off the profits. There's a person called Ananias that mentored Saul, and then Saul became Paul, and he mentored young Timothy. And then Jesus mentored the disciples, and here's what I love. He said this, the work that I do shall you do also, and greater work, meaning that the mentee not just can do what the mentor has done, but literally can double what the mentor has done. And so I tell people, when you believe like I believe and do like I do, what happens for me can happen for you, but because I'm not the standard, it can happen even better for you. And that's my desire, and that's my prayer.
Amen to that. Dr. Breakthrough, I have a question for you. We have a number of business owners who watch this show. And as you know, as I know, Red, being a business owner can be a lonely road. And there's a lot of alone time, literally putting on hats, switching hats, doing everything that you need to do. And maybe there are people in our lives who are not necessarily on board, on the train, on the plane with us and can't see the vision, but we see it. So how do we keep persevering to get to the breakthrough when maybe we've got some bricks that are dragging us down and we're reaching for the plane, but the bricks are pulling us? What do you say to that?
Oh man, that's a great question. As a matter of fact, that's why I put together what's called my breakthrough formula. And so get this down. A formula, and this alone will help somebody get a breakthrough. A formula is something that works every time by everyone that works it in every situation they work it in. Ooh, I want to hear myself say that again. I said a formula is something that works every time in every situation by everyone that works it. And so the breakthrough formula, I'll give you just a few real quick, but in my breakthrough formula, number one is forgiveness. That's the formula for a breakthrough. Number one is forgiveness. You say forgiveness? Yeah. See, a breakthrough means we feel like we should be further ahead. A breakthrough means we feel like we should be making more money. Our business should be better. As you mentioned, that we should be doing better. And so a lot of times, especially people that are type A driven personalities or entrepreneurial spirit, we get down on ourselves and we're like, man, we start, and this is not cursing, we start shoulding all over ourselves, right? I should this and I should that, and I should be further ahead. And I should, man, at my age, I should have this and I should that. You got to learn to forgive yourself. See, that's negative energy against yourself. And that negative energy, like you said, that's actually the brick that's holding you back. It's like that rocket ship when it takes off. There's some extra booster rockets that helps it to get off the ground. But guess what? Once it's got to eject those booster rockets, because the same rockets that help it to get off the ground are the same rockets that'll keep it from going as high as it needs to get. And so it serves a purpose, but it has to get rid of them, right? And so you have to have forgiveness. You gotta learn to forgive others. You gotta learn to forgive yourself. That's real hard for people that are type A driven personalities, and people that sometimes have this perfectionistic tendency of getting it right and so forth. But you gotta have forgiveness. You gotta have forgiveness, and then you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith, and faith says, listen, it didn't happen yet, but it will happen. Remember my acronym for faith: fully anticipating it to happen, right? And what was his name? Henry Ford, I think it says. He said, if you think you are beaten, you are. And if you think you dare not, you won't. If you like to win but think you can, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you will lose, you've already lost. For this powerful truth we find, success begins with a person's will. It's all a state of mind. Life's battles always go to the stronger woman or man, but sooner or later, those who win are those who first think and then know that they can. So the formula includes forgiveness, but then faith, and then force. You got to take action. You can't just sit there thinking, meditating, kumbaya. No. You got to take action. So let me stop here and turn it back to y'all here. I'm getting too excited.
I am too. I have another zillion questions I want to ask Fred. I know your show is coming up after this, so we have to keep it. So my follow-up question would be to you. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank, not a paid spokesperson, but they go to my website and find my address, send the check. Anyway, Mr. Wonderful, who's on there, he will say to the person on the carpet, what you have is a hobby. You should quit. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should get the heck out of here. But if we think about the breakthrough, maybe the breakthrough is just over the corner. How do we know as a business owner, if we have a hobby, if we have a real business, if there's no breakthrough because we're on the wrong path, or is there always a breakthrough if we continue to work and take action?
Wow, my goodness, you got some powerful questions. Well, here's the thing, and that is this. Just to understand something, I am the world's first breakthrough speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker, and here's why. This addresses your question as well. And that is, see, motivational speakers, we need them. They're great. But a motivational speaker is like trying to get the caterpillar to move a little faster, and caterpillars need to move faster. We would all agree. However, as the world's first breakthrough speaker and facilitator, I assist the caterpillar into the cocoon And of course, that cocoon is a dark place, lonely place, seemingly impossible to get out of place. But then eventually out of the cocoon is a beautiful butterfly. So again, it's from caterpillar to cocoon to literally, my friend, cruising wherever we're going and flying and doing things effortlessly. So so I don't just do motivation, it's inspiration, motivation, education, information, and oftentimes a martial arts demonstration that empowers a person to break through. So here's the thing. So on the Shark Tank, for instance, and sometimes, like I said, a motivational speaker person's going the wrong way and they motivate you to go faster the wrong way. Sometimes there needs to be a turnaround. Sometimes there needs to be some adjustments. Sometimes there needs to be some things. But the main thing is you got to have what I call a breakthrough mindset. That's why you need a breakthrough mentor that can help you with a breakthrough mindset, because without a breakthrough mentality, nothing in heaven or earth can help you. Let me say it again. Without a breakthrough mentality, nothing in heaven and earth can help you. However, with a breakthrough mentality, nothing on earth can stop you. Ooh. And sometimes Mr. Wonderful is doing a great thing for people because he wants to see, are they really sincere? Are they really serious? And what people, again, some people call hobby, you can still turn it into a business if you got the right mindset with the right mentor and use the right methods. And so I hope that answers your questions for you.
Yes, it does. Well done. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It's been an absolute delight, very thought-provoking having you here. And I'd love to have you come back and see us again.
Well, if you're waiting for me, you're already late. Well, let me just say this real quick. I also, my website is called the Internet Mentor. One of them, of course, Dr. Breakthrough is my main site, but the internetmentor.com, because there's a free gift that I want to give to those who are listening. If you're interested, it's on the internetmentor.com. You can go there, sign up, get a free account. Now I've got paid trainings there, but I want you to go get the free one. My daily attitude adjuster that's set to music is on that. You go there, you set up, there's a free lesson, and it's called The Art of Selling Without Selling. Now, we didn't get on this today. We'll do that next time. It's called The Art of Selling Without Selling, or How to Sell Without Being a Sellout. Now, I take a different approach than most people, and I'm not talking about selling things per se. That's easy if you get what I'm talking about. I'm talking about selling yourself. Because see, once you sell yourself, that you can see most people, and like I was doing most of my life, I'll sell myself on what I couldn't do, sell myself on why this won't work, selling myself, and all the what if, or what if it doesn't, what if it that, and now my what if is, what if it works even better than I thought? Wow, right? I just use the same question different way. But anyway, so the art of selling without selling, how to sell without being a sellout, that'll help you, my friend, to stop, listen carefully, to stop buying the expensive idea that you can't, and to invest in the profitable ideal that you can and you will. And so www.theinternetmentor.com. Give me a call. Send me a text at 717-275-3508. By the way, a lady called the other day. I answered the phone. She's like, no. I said, excuse me? She's like, I didn't want you to answer the phone. She said, your voicemail is so powerful. She said, I got a friend that's so discouraged. I told her, if you just hear this man's voicemail, it'll make the rest of your day. So she said, please hang up. We're going to call back and don't answer. So tell your listeners, if they call, I'm not going to answer. They can hear a message. However, if they leave a message, I will call them back.
Fantastic. We also have a link here for people to purchase your book. Your breakthrough is guaranteed. 7 simple steps that will help you ensure your success in every area of life. So please go
wait a minute.
ahead.
I forgot to give you, can I give you my acronym real quick for September? I love acronyms.
Yeah, please.
And I just got this the other day. So September, my acronym stands for Stay Empowered, Pressing Towards Excellence, Manifesting Breakthroughs, Experiencing Riches. And by the way, when you understand the riches of your health and family and so forth, that'll help you to attract the other riches, the RICH, raking in cash happily. Anyway, let me stop. Okay. Don't get me started.
Thank you so much, Dr. Breakthrough. This was
I had to warn Dr. JACALYN about getting you started before we started the show.
No, I like it because I was a little low energy. I've been broadcasting all day, and now I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
By the way, I did 4,000 steps while we're here on this broadcast. Hello, somebody. So that's another thing, by the way, I show people how to get more done with, anyway, it's just, but it was breakthroughs for me because, like yesterday, I did 41,000 steps. Well, in the last 2 days, 73,000, which is 42 miles. That's like 16 hours. Like I don't have 8 hours in a day to exercise, right? But guess what? When I'm on the phone, I'm talking to somebody, I jump out early in the morning, but then when I'm on the phone, I'm doing different things, I'm gonna watch something with my wife on television. I'm not just gonna sit there and watch something. Now, every once in a while, of course, we're gonna snuggle. Oh, we're gonna snuggle. I told her one time, I said, baby, your eyes are like caramels floating upon saucers of milk. And when I'm in your arms, everything's okay. All right, we better stop. I got to go.
We're going into another area now. Okay.
And she has a show for that too.
Show for everything. All right, Dr. Breakthrough, keep on riding, keep on doing the good work, and we'll look forward to seeing you back again.
All right, thank you. God bless you.
Appreciate
you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
All right.
I love him. He's fabulous.
Eventually, we'll end up getting some. I have a number of people like that, and it's just a matter of the timing that they can get in and whatever else. But yes, Dr. Breakthrough, Dr. Stan Harris is a remarkable person. I fell in love with his message, his whole being in 5 minutes. I mean, he's up there on stage breaking boards and all sorts of stuff. And whoa,
yeah, he draws you in.
And then the education he provides, the way he breaks it down, just a lot of things in there that it's hard to not use anyway.
Well, speaking of education, my friend, you're going to be educating us very soon. So it's time for us to say au revoir for now. Tell people again, what will you be speaking on in this new Talking Head series?
The new Talking Head series is post-pandemic planning for health. We've all been through the last couple of years of a lot of anxiety, isolation, uncertainty, fear, maybe even a lot of disappointment in many, many regards. But our health is something that's really, truly something that's very valuable to us. And if we start thinking now about the post-pandemic world, what can we do so that when we are finally there, we're ahead of the schedule? And that is what I'm going to be talking about over the next 6 weeks. And if you need to get in touch with me, all my contact information is on my website, redolaughlin.com. That's R-E-D, like the color red, O'Laughlin, O-L-A-U-G-H-L-I-N. So it's Red O'Laughlin, REDOLAUGHLIN.com. My contact information is there. Please give me a buzz and we will be in business. And again, thank you so very much, Dr. JACALYN. And let me run over to the other studio and I'll be joining you in just a very brief moment.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And for those, see you soon, Red. For those of you who want to order Red's book, it's right there in the promotion. You're probably looking at wherever it is you're watching. The name of the book, that is actually both books, Longevity Secrets for Healthy Aging and The Joy of Ageless Health. You can order them right off of the promotion that you're looking at that's attached to this show. Okay, so as you know, we are closing out to go over to our Talking Heads episode with Red. If you're interested in joining our team, we've got 40 people on our team now. Please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com. Contact us and let us know what it is you're interested in doing. For our 2023 platform programming, we have opportunities for you to have your own show, for you to be a co-host, for you to be on one of our panel shows, for you to be an elevated listener, or maybe for you to have your own project on our platform that has nothing to do with USA Global TV and radio, that we just produce it for you. Please go over to usaglobaltv.com, contact us. All right, I'm saying goodbye for now. Thank you to each and every one of you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio. Bye for now.